Hi, today we're going to do another insight into another great player's technique, and this time it's Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is obviously one of the best players in the world in all formats of the game, and he's got a pretty good technique, but there are times when even a great player like himself gets into an awkward position and gets out LBW or plays at one slightly wide and gets closed off, and something technically is not quite right. It's great to hear him talk on Sky about his technique openly and give us all an insight into what he's working on and what he's changing. So one video that I saw him talking about his technique, he mentioned that he'd been getting closed off, getting too sideways on, and finding it difficult to play the ball that's swinging back into him. It was just giving him a few issues. So he decided to open himself up a bit more. And he found opening himself up helped that a little bit, but then it made it a little bit more difficult to play the ball swinging away. So the ultimate is to get into a position where you can play the ball swinging in or away, and you're in a great position, aligned and balanced. So let's have a look at Kohli's stance. Kohli stands, quite rightly so, with his feet slightly open, like a lot of players do. The interesting thing I find with this technique is that although his feet are open, his shoulder is closed. So if he has tried batting with a more open stance with his feet and his hips, but his shoulder's still here as he picks a bat up, then it's not really going the whole hog trying to get it right. Because being in this position means that he still could go that way and play around his front pad slightly, and he still could head go to the white ball. I don't leave it because I'm close to it, I play at it because my head's here. If I'm more here, I know it's outside the line of my eye and I can leave the ball. So his feet are open, his shoulders closed. I feel that puts him in a difficult position when the ball swings in, because the shoulder takes the head before the ball's let go even, and the foot starts to go across. So the straight ball he could get closed off at. That's what closed off means. There's a straight ball, front foot across the line of the back foot, and you can see the heel. So rather than the bat coming down at this ball, it has to come around it, misses it, hit on the pad LBW. Now, if his shoulder was open, he would then lean and he would be what I call well aligned and well balanced. That isn't closed off. Both laces down the wicket, chest down the wicket, the bat, full blade of the bat swings in a straight line to the ball. Similarly on the offside, if he's here, he's going to want to flick it through there because he's going that way. If he's here, again, full blade of the bat through the line of the ball, and you can still flick it off your legs, but you're not closed off, misaligned. So this is a good position, this is a bad position. And also with that shoulder round here, when the ball's outside off stump, you can go too far this way. So let's say the red ball, I've gone too far, got my foot a little bit too far in line with it. I'm having to reopen my shoulders to get back at the ball, in which case I nick it if it's swinging away. Whereas if I'm slightly open, I lean straight, so I'm in that initial position of good alignment and balance. If it's straight, I can step forward and play a nice drive or defence, and if it's outside offside, shoulder turns, foot goes, and now my shoulder stays in position. I stay through the line of the ball to the target, as opposed to being too far over, coming back the other way and potentially nicking it. And like I say, with the leave, if I'm here, it's wide of my right eye, I can let it go. I know when to leave it. But if I'm getting here, I start getting my head more in line with the ball when it's wider of the stumps, and I think it's closer to the stumps than it actually is. So I go here, that seems like it could be straight, but I bring my head back, that's a foot outside off stump. So in short, he is a great player. He gets into great positions generally when he's driving the ball, but just every now and again, because of that closed front shoulder, he can get blocked off. So it's LBW candidate, and he can get sucked in playing a wide one with the bat going off the line of the ball. So for me, feet slightly open, shoulder slightly open, matching. It's easier to go from a line open initial technique where I can just step forward and play my straight drive or my on drive, and when it's outside off stump from a balanced position, I turn my shoulder, lean, head goes, foot goes, bat through line of the ball. But it's really interesting to hear him talk about technique, and as a greater player as he is, he's still searching for perfection, trying to be the best he can be technically. And I think he's just getting better and better, but there is just an area there that from a coach's point of view, a technical batting coach's point of view, you can see a little flaw which a bowler could exploit. So that's probably why he's trying to work on it. But one other thing with that open stance, I did hear in one of his videos that he was trying to keep his back foot parallel. So when he goes forward, keep that back foot sideways on, was something he was working on. So it's going to point. The problem with that is it anchors you back here, head. It's hard to get forward, and you can't really get your head and chest forward out over that front leg. When he hits a perfect off drive, generally his laces point where he's hitting the ball. If that back foot stays a bit sideways, and that can happen because that front shoulder turns, then you can't reach as far, your hitting zone is smaller, your bottom hand can come into the shot, and you're a little bit blocked off as being in a perfectly aligned, unbalanced position. So there's just a few points there that we've talked about with a great player like Virat Kohli. Brilliant in all formats of the game, but when the ball is swinging in UK conditions, the fact that he stands with that front shoulder there makes it a little bit more difficult for him to maintain initially good balance and alignment. So by being open, I think it would make him even better than he already is, and it would work for all formats of the game. Something to think about, something you can try yourself if you're a person that stands like that. Try that, see how it works.